Andy Johnson. We are looking at the IEP as it relates to reading disabilities, mild, moderate, and severe, and boom goes the dynamite. Parts of the IEP, we're looking at part 3, description of progress towards meeting the goals. Meaning, what benchmarks will you use to measure, or what will you use to measure benchmarks and annual goals? How do you know you're making progress? You can include items besides the standardized tests on that. All right, that was very short. Let us traverse then into part 6, special education and related services based on peer-reviewed research. Parts of IEP, boom goes the dynamite statement. Number 4, statement of needed special education research and related stuff. How does the student get from the present to the ideal? What are you going to do? How are you going to help them fall short? This is where many IEPs related to literacy fall far short of the glory, as St. Paul would say. What exactly are you going to do to improve word identification, fluency, comprehension? How are you going to help students improve? How? Some of them say, well, they'll go to the resource room. Well, that tells us geographical location, but how doesn't tell me what you're going to do. What use is an IEP if it identifies beginning place, ending place, but no map of how you're going to get there? Says work with a tutor. Okay, well and good. Says who, but not how. What exactly are you going to do? Simply working with a tutor is not going to work if that tutor doesn't know what in the heck to do. Some IEPs identify program. Going to do Triumphs or Orton-Gillingham. It says what, but not how. Let me give you a little hint as well. Orton-Gillingham has no research to support it other than what was put out by the Orton-Gillingham research people. Look for some peer-reviewed research. I have $20. If you can find it, send it to me. So let's unpack this statement. Statement of needed special education and related services based on peer-reviewed research. What exactly is the needed special education? We need to identify that. Simply saying resource room, that doesn't tell me the needed type of education. All right? What specifically is to be done? And who is defining what is peer-reviewed research? There are many definitions. Don't think there's this common definition of peer-reviewed research. Don't think that the medical model is gold, where you have randomized groupings, this, that, and the other thing. You know what is the best research-based strategy of all? It's called breakfast. Breakfast. Who are the peers reviewing these peer-reviewed researches? In education, when I look at the research reports, I notice a paucity, that means not many, of people in the area of literacy reviewing special ed research related to reading and writing. Special education teachers must have an understanding of literacy, the literacy process, and how to teach literacy. You must have this. Literacy involves 80 to 90% of what you're going to do if you're an LD teacher, as well as other teachers. You need to understand how the brain creates meaning with print. Reading is not sounding out words, it's creating meaning with print. You need to move beyond this simplistic idea. Again, there are 3 deficit areas in reading: word identification, and there are 3 types of cueing systems. We don't just use graphophonological cueing systems, that's the least efficient. We use semantics, what does it mean in context, and syntactical, syntax, word order, graphics, or word order, grammar, word endings. The other 2 areas of deficit are fluency and comprehension. Let's unpack this one, dyslexia. What is it? It's not mixing up letters. It's a severe reading disability, an inability to learn to read that is of undetermined origin. We don't know. This inability, however, is not caused by environmental factors, motivation, low cognitive functioning, or faulty instruction. These all things do affect children's ability to learn to read, but that is not part of the definition of dyslexia. Again, The brain uses 3 cuing systems. Often, students with dyslexia have problem with that one, but we cannot focus only on that and let these 2 atrophy. By focusing on that, we're focusing on what students can't do. We're teaching one-handed people how to clap. We need to develop all 3. Need to simultaneously develop all 3. Traditional programs for students with reading disabilities focus just on phonics. They have trouble with phonics, so let's give them more phonics so they can have trouble even more. We need to develop neural networks and strengthen neural pathways related to word cueing, word identification. It's all about the neurons, baby. Adolescent students with severe reading disabilities. Now, I notice these in my IEPs. They're often in the 5th, 6th grade or above, listening comprehension scores within the normal range, but their reading levels are at the 1st and 2nd grade level. And they've been there for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Don't you think it's time to do something different? Why are you doing the same gosh darn thing and getting no results? Hey, let's do something different. Nationally, it's estimated that 3 to 5% of all students have a severe reading disability. We deal with students with severe reading disabilities different than mild, moderate. Ask yourself, if you have a son or daughter with a severe reading disability, what exactly are they doing? Is it different from those with mild and moderate? Are they making progress? If not, it's time to do something different. Here's a clue in case you don't have one. Children with dyslexia can read. They just can't read very well. Our goal is to strengthen those neural pathways, develop neural networks so that they can read better, develop automaticity. Beware of simplistic brain imaging research and medical models. Some of these medical models call them dyslexics. They label them, you're a person, you're a category. And they say, dyslexics have parts of the brain that don't light up. See, here's a normal brain. Here's an abnormal brain. See the difference? What they don't realize is, with instruction, all areas of the brain of the dyslexic light up. So is it a cause or is it effect? Beware. Brain imaging, is it a cause or is it an effect? Medical models of research work great for some areas of medicine, but not so great for education. I don't want to get too involved in that. End of part 5 and 6. We'll be looking at things that actually work in the next one.